Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again, and today I want to go ahead and show you guys some of the new game that I've been playing, which is basically Victor Vran. It's kind of like a little bit similar to Van Helsing. If you guys have ever played Van Helsing, it's a lot of fun though. It's like a ton of fun, and I want to kind of show you guys a little bit about it. So the difference between Victor Vran and a lot of other games, because this is a what is this? This is essentially an action role-playing game. Is one, there's 3 different ways you can play this. You can play it keyboard mode, you can play it mouse mode, or you can play it with a controller. So I feel like that's one really big thing. For some reason I feel like the audio is loud, so I'm gonna keep talking really loud, alright? One of the other features about the game is that there is only kind of like one equipment piece, if that makes sense. You have like, it's called an outfit, and your outfit kind of determines the way that you generate your resource, which is like your mana for your skills. And then rather than having equipment, you have things like cards down here, and the cards completely customize the way as well your character is played. So for example, I've got like this smith, which is 100 armor while carrying a hammer. I have no armor on my character, so 100 armor is pretty huge from a card. I've got a wild card, which gives me 6% increased damage for each card in my hand, and 8% critical damage. You can see there's a bunch of like cool elements to play around with. You've got a bunch of different weapons, and the weapon types are kind of really cool. It's kind of like Guild Wars, if you guys have played Guild Wars, where basically your weapons determine your skills. So each weapon has an auto attack and 2 skills, and can be augmented in 5 different ways from a legendary, and can be augmented again from a legendary card. Legendary cards such as like the lightning or the smith, which I showed you guys earlier. The lightning is tailored towards my lightning gun, and the smith is tailored towards my hammer. And as you fight mobs and you you go through the game, you'll find more and more weapons. Like I think the most recent weapon that I found was like a tome. But anyway, enough of that. I want to show you guys the action, because the combat is by far the most fun in my opinion. It's kind of like what makes this game the game. So let me go ahead and just go to somewhere easy. Actually, nowhere is really easy because everything scales with you. So I'm just gonna click a random place. Now, when you go to these areas, it's kind of like you could say like an arcade game in a way, where you have a bunch of objectives and stuff. And you don't have to do these if you don't want to. But doing these will unlock, it'll give you gold. It'll give you a chance at a rare item. It'll give you a rare item, it'll give you extra potions, it'll give you bonus experience, and you can come back and complete these whenever you'd like. You can do them one at a time, you can try to knock them all out at a time. And if you play on hard mode, you permanently have hexes on. You have all 5 hexes on permanently. So Hex of Malice, monsters hit for 50% more damage and cause cripple for 2 seconds on crit, but you gain increased experience and find more items. Hex of Pain, you permanently lose health. Hex of Tenacity, they gain 120 armor and regeneration. Hex of Time, they move and attack faster. And Hex of Tyranny, some of them become champions, which is basically yellow monsters, which are kind of like little mini bosses. They're pretty fucking tough. Alright, so let's just go somewhere. And I'm going to show you how smooth this is. Either you're going to like it right off the bat, or it's just not going to be your style of game. Took damage from attack. Rip. Already failed 1 mission. Some of them are insane. Like, do not take any damage don't take any source of damage until you kill 50 monsters. That's pretty intense. So this is my lightning gun, which is my main weapon for now. So basically the way my lightning gun works, that's my time bubble, is you stack electrocution on mobs. And after the mobs are stacked with electrocution, you want to release your ball lightning. And the ball lightning will seek out the targets that are hit with electrocution. My weapon is kind of PK because it can seek out and hit you if you're in the way of it. And you definitely do not want that to happen. Alright. Rolling is unlimited. It doesn't cost any resource. It takes nothing from you. But you're also not invulnerable while it's happening. You can get things to augment your roll, like while you're in your dodge roll gain, you know, a lot of bonus armor. Oh, I might be dead here. I'm stuck. Here we go, boys. We're going for it. Dunk! Hard mode is very punishing. If you if you jump down at the wrong point, you're gonna get fucked. Kind of like what just happened to me there. That's why weapon swapping is really good, because as you saw, I swapped to my hammer. My hammer went, you know, boom, boom, pow, did a big smack, and when I do that, I get a 20% lifesteal buff for a couple seconds, which is really, really nice. The boss fights are honestly very epic. There's so much fun with the boss fights, and if you like comedy, kind of, the main character from Witcher 3 is the narrator of this game, and as you progress through your main storyline, you'll kind of like play around with you, joke a bit, you know, make some shitty puns and whatnot. And it's honestly just a really fun overall game. There is quite a bit of customization, despite what a lot of people say, who say that, like, you know, I don't like playing this game because there's no skill tree. You have your chess piece, right? So let's talk about a little bit of customization. You've got your chess piece, so for example, mine increases my destiny slots by 1, which gives me an extra card slot. In that extra card slot, I'm using the Seer. The Seer does not give me any bonuses, it just gives me a flat 4 destiny points. However, because of my wild card, the Seer, which gives no bonuses, now gives 6% increased damage and 8% crit damage, while also giving me 4 destiny points. And destiny points, basically, if you see the number down here, the total number cannot exceed your maximum destiny points. So that's kind of like a little bit of customization there. You've got a pretty in-depth crafting system to craft your weapons. You've got 2 skills you can always choose from. You can see, for example, this is the listing of skills. Obviously, if it looks the same, it is the same. It can just be tiered up again. You've got between lightning gun, shotgun, scythe, hammer, sword, rapier, mortar. I don't know if I said mace. There's so many, and you can use any combination that you would like. You cannot use the same ones though, because they don't share. They will share cooldowns, I guess you could say. Normally, like if for example, if I were to use my hammer, so I'm in hammer time, I'll switch back to my lightning gun. You'll see it's still refreshing. That's why you really want to make use of 2 weapons. Now the crazy thing about it is you could even use a weapon as a stat stick, and you don't even have to use it for anything else. So for example, I could use a hammer that had like magic find and gold find on it, and it would work. So for example, like the smith card says, while carrying a hammer. The hammer is being carried in my offhand. You can see it's on my back. It's not my main weapon, but I would still get the bonuses of the card because of that reason. You also have a shit ton of different consumables that are really OP. For example, 100% health refreshes the cooldowns of all attacks and demon powers. 50% lifesteal for 45 seconds. Instantly refills your overdrive meter, which is your mana. This is shit. Brutality, which is outgoing damage increased by 50%. There's like so many really cool ones. Gain 100 armor, immunity to daze, interrupt, and push effects for 20 seconds. And this would swap out for your other consumable. I personally have one which is unlimited uses, heals 300 health. I only have 3k, so it's 10%. But removes 1 negative effect and heals an additional 150 health if an effect is removed. Fuck, I'm like slurring everything. This is what happens when you wake up 10 minutes ago and make a YouTube video. Anyway, though, I wanted to really try to pump it out and give you guys the information. I'll most likely be I'll most likely be playing Victor Vran. I wanted to say Van Helsing. Till like the 19th, maybe the earliest or the latest is the 20th, because Guardians of Ember should be coming out on the 20th, at least in the early access or their like pre-early access test servers. And then I still have to see if I'm going to play Emu Legends or Revelation, or try to do both at the same time, and we'll see exactly what's going to happen there, but that's pretty much going to be the schedule for now. Anyway, I hope you boys enjoyed the game. You know, check it out on Steam if you're curious, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. So have a good one, everybody.